The world is full of unsolved mysteries. Despite of the great achievements in the field of science, the human beings remain clueless about many things around us. Rather than the land we live, what seems stranger to us is the ocean, which is home to many myths, legends and mysteries. While scientists have succeeded in explaining many of these mysteries, there are quite a few still remaining as unexplained. Lost cities, hidden treasures, mystic ships are all part of the alluring marine world. Of all these, the lost city of Atlantis tops the list. The lost city of Atlantis, first mentioned by the ancient Greek philosopher Plato more than 2,300 years ago, is known as one of the oldest and greatest mysteries of the world. According to Plato, the utopian island kingdom existed some 9,000 years before his time and mysteriously disappeared one day. Famed for having been the exhibit of all worldly pleasures in the world, this city is as enigmatic as it is inviting. Even after years of research, the exact truth about this city has not yet been found, and that adds even more to all the folklores attached with it. Origins of the Atlantis story. Atlantis is first time discussed in two of Plato's dialogues, Timaeus and Critias. Timaeus provides a description of the island continent and how Atlanteans conquered all the known world except for the Athenians, and Critias says he heard the story of Atlantis from his grandfather, who had heard it from the Athenian statesman Solon 300 years before Plato's time, who had learned it from an Egyptian priest, who said it had happened 9,000 years before that. The historicity of Plato's tale was controversial in ancient times. His follower Crantor is said to have believed it, while Strabo, writing a few centuries later, records Aristotle's joke about Plato's ability to conjure nations out of thin air and then destroy them. Atlantis re-emerges. In the first centuries of the Christian era, Aristotle was taken at his word and Atlantis was little discussed. In 1627, the English philosopher and scientist Francis Bacon published a utopian novel titled The New Atlantis, depicting, like Plato before him, a politically and scientifically advanced society on a previously unknown oceanic island. In 1882, former U.S. Congressman Ignatius L. Donnelly published Atlantis, the Antediluvian World, which touched off a frenzy of works attempting to locate and learn from a historical Atlantis. Donnelly hypothesized an advanced civilization whose immigrants had populated much of ancient Europe, Africa and the Americas, and whose heroes had inspired Greek, Hindu and Scandinavian mythology. From time to time, archaeologists and historians locate evidence of a swampy, prehistoric city in coastal Spain, a suspicious undersea rock formation in the Bahamas that might be a source of the Atlantis story. Myths and stories. The tale of God's love. Legend says that the Atlantis city was built by Poseidon, the god of sea, of storms and earthquakes, when he fell in love with a mortal woman, Cleito. He made this city on top of a hill, in an isolated island in the sea, to protect her, and named it Atlantis. According to the story, Poseidon walked through the world in an effort to find the biggest island until he reached the biggest of them all, Atlantis, and found it to be inhabited by people who were more beautiful and intelligent than rest of the world. It was then he fell in love with Cleito when he finds her in the island. City named after Atlas, the Poseidon's son. The city of Atlantis, in the innermost circle, had palaces and temples where wise and powerful rulers lived. The ruling coalition descended from Poseidon, the Greek god of the sea. Poseidon and Cleito had 5 sets of twin sons, according to Greek mythology, each of which was given a region of Atlantis. Atlas, the firstborn son, was given the largest province, which became the city of Atlantis, a name ever bears from Atlas. The finest structure on the island, the Temple of Poseidon, honored the god and served as the home of the primary ruler. Disappearing of Atlantis. According to most accounts, Atlantis was suddenly destroyed by a cataclysm of earthquakes and floods and swallowed up by the sea. No definitive remnants have ever been found, and the exact location of the lost continent remains debatable. The idea of Atlantis was first expressed in the works of Plato, the Greek philosopher, who stressed that a perfect world exists in ideas. In Plato's account, the people of Atlantis eventually became corrupt and greedy, putting selfish pursuits above the greater good. They began invading other lands with the idea of world domination. Angered by these developments, Poseidon set about destroying the civilization, battering the continent with earthquakes and floods until Atlantis was swallowed up by the ocean. Hope you guys enjoys this video. If yes, then hit like button. Don't forget to subscribe the Fireup Facts.